Welcome back. Let's go to line number 6. Mike, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Paddy. Good morning.
Good morning.
I got a topic here this morning, Paddy, that's probably is Canada-wide, and maybe some of the listeners later on can tune in and call back. But I'm 61 years old, and I've seen a lot of things in this country and stuff, and to say that Canadians are happy today with all the struggles they have on their plate is the news is devastating. And I'm calling it the Great Divide in Canada. It's called the Great Divide. And I was kind of, I know it's fact. Government has gotten better at controlling us rather than listening to us.
How are they controlling you?
Well, we've had to live with the Trudeau Liberal government because of a coalition. If it wasn't a coalition, we'd had an election and the people would have had their say. So that's control, And
no, it's not.
As I look around, pardon?
No, it isn't. It's really normal parliamentary procedure.
Yes, but I think it's reached its. Yes, I agree, Paddy. You're right. It's happened before and stuff and that there, but it's happened now with such a force and such a total ignorance to Canadians and stuff and that there. But the government, they're not listening to the people, and this is how they're controlling us, And it's sad. Like Canada Day, there's not much to celebrate for Canada Day, but what government is good at, like regards to controlling us, they'll control us with force, which was hardly ever seen in this country before. That's almost the first step. Now we only got to go back to the truckers' convoy for that, and then they're introducing new bills. And our media, Paddy, it's ridiculous what's happened to our media. You can't go on Facebook and post something and it goes against community standards and everything else and stuff. And it's the fear of the media to tell the true story and the real story. So we're met with...
What truth aren't we telling?
Pardon?
What truth or truths are we not telling?
Well, I'll go back years ago, and there was, there was a lot of good investigators, journalists, and different private media outlets and stuff and that there, and they've been pretty much banished and looked down upon and everything else and stuff and that there, and that's common sense to everybody. You don't have to ask Canadians and stuff and that there if their media is controlled, because every Canadian, level-headed Canadian and stuff and that there would say yes it is.
No, it's not.
I beg to differ and stuff in that area. I beg to differ. But there's been a lot of controls put in place, and it's a sad day for Canada. It really is. It really is, because this is a beautiful, beautiful country, and all people want is their concerns and that listen to and work together with government how to make life better in Canada. Because when you look around and right now the middle class are basically the working poor. The poor are ending up in tent cities. There's so much wrong there today, and we've got one of the best countries in the world, and we're kind of more or less we are there. We're leaning more on a dictatorship, than democracy, because if not, government will be listening. And I don't think it's going to go away soon, but there's a lot of angry Canadians. There's a lot of angry Canadians, and they're working people.
Yes, right? Some of the anger is based in reality, some isn't. I mean, some is manufactured by politicians for their own ends. But, I always have a hard time trying to square this particular circle. So, in the beginning of the call, you said there was a problem because the government is involved in a supply and confidence agreement, a so-called coalition with the NDP, which is true. And if it wasn't for that, they probably would have been brought down by now. And that's not to say that there hasn't been one in the very, very recent past. The NDP also propped up the Harper Conservatives in a minority parliament. But how can someone be a dictator if they're in a minority parliament? It just doesn't make any sense. I know people like to say that because there's a political angle to these things, but you can't have it both ways. You can't be a dictator that needs to get support from another full political party. So that kind of erodes any sort of actual definition of a dictator.
Okay, well, when there's no rules to the game, it causes trouble. When there's no rules to the game, everybody got to be playing under the same rules, and all this stems to we've had premiers step up about the carbon tax all across the country and this and that. But I don't want to get off track. With the federal government, coalition is one thing. And yes, it's been done before. But the other thing is, our prime ministers have been investigated at least 12 to 14 times for ethic violations and stuff.
7.
And SN Lavalin, big handouts to Loblaws to put in their freezers and stuff, and that there multi-corporations getting government handouts and stuff. And hearing law is no rules to the game. And they've, over the years, 10, 15, 20 years, they've made the rules so they can get away with it. And that's where there's got to be a big shift in the tide in the stuff that if we vote people in, we got to live under the rules. We got to pay taxes, and your property tax goes up every year, groceries, this, that. It's unbelievable how much they want Canadians to carry. But there has to be some rules in Parliament and stuff to control these people that are running this country. And that's why it's leading into a dictatorship, because they have no fear. They have no fear, They have no fear of reprisal, or even they don't even have any fear of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, And nobody can tell me that hasn't shifted. That hasn't shifted, and corruption has slipped into our democracy, and it's there, it's real. People can deny it, but I don't think if they done a public referendum around Canada and asked them questions, I would say 80% of Canadians would say yes, it's there and it's real.
If people think that corruption has just slipped in the government in the last 8 years, they haven't been paying attention.
No. You're right. It was always there. There was stuff done before, and then subsidies and handouts and stuff. But I think it's reached a peak. It's like the avalanche effect. It's up there. One more snowflake to set it off. Because what I'm seeing online, and even groups coming up, I don't know how many thousands of groups that are coming up anti-government stuff and that there. There's so much stuff there, and that is a realization of where we're to, and I'm not really sure how it's going to be fixed, in the sense that, is it going to take a revolution in this country to overthrow government, take out the bad and put in the good? But I don't see the politicians. I don't see the politicians working to make it any better. I really don't. We can't trust what we have in government now to make our lives better. And it's sad. It's sad for Canada. It's sad for Canada. It's not me finger pointing. It's not. It's a problem we all got. It's not going to get any better. I don't know about the people in this province, but people can't pay no more. People can't pay no more. And I know the Liberal government, they just put out the thing about the dentists and stuff. Well, we're still paying for that. They're passing it out, but it all goes on the taxpayer's bill and goes into the deficit and everything else. I
think the dental care plan is a good thing, personally, I won't benefit from it one single cent, one procedure, none, zero. I have no benefit, and to the tune of $4.4 billion a year. I think if we're going to be honest about what dental care and dental health means to your overall health and the people who can't afford it, I'm happy enough to chip in on it. I don't get it. I can't bill Sun Life for any dental procedures, so it doesn't benefit me at all.
Yeah, and I'm going to bring this a little bit closer to home.
Quickly, before I have to go. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm a opponent of the wind energy products and, projects and stuff in that there. And if we had good government here, they call a public referendum. Or Tony Wakeham would push for it, and the opposition would push for it and stuff. And they hear all these concerns. They hear them, and they try to turn a deaf ear. But
the PCs are in favour.
Pardon?
The PCs are in favour of the projects.
Yeah, but yes, the PCs may be in favour, and let's not lose the point. The PCs may be in favour, the NDP may be in favour, and the two independents may be in favour. There are 40 people. 540,000 people have an opinion. 40 people doesn't decide what happens in this province. And see, by you saying that, Paddy, and there's a lot of other people have just accepted it to say, well, and I'll go into the fear of government here and stuff, and with these projects, tourism hasn't spoke out. You know why? They're in fear. They might get a little subsidy here or there. The outfitters can't speak out because they're afraid they'll lose their moose licenses. Hospitality can't speak out, afraid they'll lose their licenses. There's so much fear within our government today. It's disturbing. It's disturbing because, and I spent the day yesterday at the Confederation Building and done a little protest here. I went up and asked the Premier's office for somebody to come out. I spent 4 hours there, and we saw it. I got up anyway. Nobody came out, and I'm not going to stop. But prior to that, and Newfoundlanders can come in and call you. I wrote 24 letters to 47 people in the government, 40 MHAs, 7 federal ministers. 25 letters, well-written letters, not crazy letters, cursing, swearing, stuff about these projects.
Okay.
25 letters.
Any responses?
And, and you know what I got?
No.
I got auto reply and no reply.
Yeah.
So people say, get a hold of your MHA. This is the Premier included. This is the Premier included and stuff. 25 letters. And so answer me that. How was that good government, Paddy?
I didn't say it was. I appreciate the time, Mike. It's 11:52, so I have to get to the 45 break, but I appreciate you making time for the program.
Perfect. And one more now. I want to leave
quickly.
People got to wake up. We're going to make the changes. We are the ones going to make the changes. Don't wait for your politicians.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Paddy.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.